Welcome everyone. After a whopping 612 hours later of never getting a Moonlight Greatsword or a Sacred Relic Sword to somehow drop even once during a run, and a 250,000 uppercuts later from the Bell-Bearing Hunter, I thought now was the perfect time to review Nightreign in under 9 minutes, where I cover the things that I think are great about the game and the things that are not so great. But without further ado, let's do this. To start off, what is Nightreign? This is a spin-off game from the absolutely massive game Elden Ring, and this one takes more of a mini-game role, being FromSoft's version of a roguelike, where you make your own builds and go into an expedition to defeat a Night Lord after 3 long nights. First, you drop in from the battle bus like you're in Fortnite, search for randomized loot as quickly as possible, and try to make your build work based off the random items and power-ups that you get along the way. This loop repeats for day 1 and day 2 before you make it to day 3, where you'll finally fight a Night Lord and either win in amazing fashion, or you lose, and congratulations on your all-expense paid trip back to the lobby, and a 45-minute trip back to that boss you just fought. But don't worry, the game still gives you rewards even if you fail, which is like losing a fight outside a McDonald's parking lot, but they offer you fries after you lose, which is sort of a win, I think at least. Thank you FromSoft for Int +1, Faith +2 on my radar. I'm coming back 3 times as strong, baby. Woo! Let's talk about the things that I think are really good about this game and that the devs did amazingly. The boss fights are absolute cinema. You get to fight through 8 Night Lord bosses, except for the Augur. I'm not counting that thing. That thing's pretty lame. It's just a floating water elemental sausage. I don't know. Just lame. It's lame. I'd swap that thing out for the Bell-Bearing Hunter if I could. That guy's way more of a menace, but I will admit, like visually, the fight looks sick. Like, it's just a cool underwater looking arena. It's floating around. But hey, I mean, you know, I'm just hating on the Augur. Yeah, that boss is so annoying to fight. Things out here handing out free comas and NyQuil. Ooh, I hate that boss. But the trend with all Night Lords are that they look sick. They're pretty fair to fight against unless, you know, something weird happens, like Libra just landmines you with a Madness Rune and you just get one-shotted, or just shredded for all your HP. All their theme songs are just ooh, so good. But we'll talk about that more in a second. And they're also uniquely designed. I mean, let's be real. Have you guys ever seen anything look like Mr. Goatman over there, Libra? I don't think so. I mean, my goodness, bro. Those 3D artists were in their bags creating these designs. No complaints overall. They all look sick to me. They also have bosses from old Soul series like the Nameless King, Dancer of Boreal Valley, Centipede Demon, and even more bosses, alongside bosses from Elden Ring, which could be a good bad thing considering your POV. But overall, in terms of awesome boss fights, Nightreign definitely has plenty for you to try out and experience. They're just missing one goat. Where is Osiris? Also Rick, Soldier of God, of course. Next up, we got the music, and I mean, come on y'all, it's peak. There's nothing left to even be said. Every single one of these theme songs match the Night Lords to a T. When you're just roaming around Limvale, this sounds great. And I mean, words don't even do it justice. I'ma just let it play. And just like that, there's nothing left to be said for the music. So good that it doesn't really need much of an argument on why. Now moving on to the gameplay, we'll talk about the new movement system, which is basically an evolution of Elden Ring's movement system, having more mobility with new mechanics like the surge sprint, making you feel like Usain Bolt, and the wall climb, which is going to be pretty important for traversal, since certain areas just have a lot of verticality and you need a way to just be able to get up there very quick, and the climb just makes it so much easier. They also have certain areas around the map that have spirit spring jumps that basically allow you to do a giant jump upwards, which just lets you clear entire mountains, which is super nice, so that you don't have to go around a whole mountain, which just makes the game go a lot quicker and smoother. And they even have the Spectral Hawk Tour, which can just Uber you around the map long distances, which is super handy and a really nice added movement system overall. But long story short, Nightfarers basically never skip leg day in this game. This game also comes with 8, name it 8 pre-made characters that all come along with abilities, from full-on warriors for people who are fans of bonking enemies with melee and giant weapons like Wilder and Raider, a gremlin-sized necromancer like Revenant who can summon the dead to help her out, a powerful mage like Recluse, and an awesome archer named Iron Eye, and even a bulky birdman who can just basically tank anything with an awesome giant shield and use a halberd. And overall, they did a great job with character design, lore, and abilities on all the characters, so no complaints there either. They did a really good job. For the map, I personally think it's just fine. I don't have much to say about it, except it just looks decent to me. It doesn't look terrible, and it doesn't look like the best thing ever. It's just down the middle. But the part that does do it for me are the shifting earth areas. And they're basically the highlight of the run for me. Is just exploring the shifting earth that I run into, because they're always just good fun and a really nice challenge. For example, you could get the Scarlet Forest shifting earth, where just breathing there sends your character's lungs into early retirement with scarlet rot damage, while also being absolutely filled with powerful mini bosses, potentially insane loot, and more bugs than a can of raid bug spray could ever fend off. Or you could go to a giant volcanic crater in the ground shifting earth, where you explore your way to the bottom slowly but steadily, and once you do make it to the bottom, you fight a powerful boss and you can upgrade your weapon to the maximum power. That, or you just lose your footing and get the full Anakin Skywalker treatment and get dipped in lava, like an ice cube into a drink. Or you could run into an amazing giant city called Nakaletto, where the forecast is giant space aliens beaming you with telekinetic rocks, debris, space pocket lint, and basically anything else they can throw at you. And of course, an awesome frozen mountaintop that's doing a free frostbite status effect giveaway, and you're invited. Lucky you. And overall, these areas usually serve to just give you a cool mid to late game area to explore and just fight powerful bosses, get powerful loot, and gear up for the third night. And it's just a really cool system that I'm glad the devs took the time to add into the game, as it just keeps things feeling fresh and pretty random whenever you start up a run. Alright, after talking about the good about the game, I want to talk about a few of the things that bug me about the game, or some of the cons of it. For starters, the communication system with randoms is just awful. I mean, there's just so much to be desired there. It would be nice if we had voice chat, but I know that can't always be done. So something else that would be kinda nice is at least some type of text chat, just so that you can communicate with your teammates somewhat decently and explain like your game plan, or if a random picks up an item that they don't need that you could use. With the current system we have, it's just not really all that possible or all that easy to do. And it's a simple change, like with a text chat at least, that could help make these communication problems with randoms so much easier to deal with. The next problem is where if you were playing with two randoms and one random just leaves for whatever reason, and you and your other random teammate decide, oh okay, well he left, we're gonna leave too, the game threatens to penalize you for trying to leave after that person leaves. And it's like, bro, just let us put up the white flag and surrender. If you don't want a two-man, the game shouldn't threaten to penalize you because somebody else left. Just let them leave if one teammate already DC'd. I think that's fair. And I don't know why it's like that currently. For the final con, this is more of a nitpick, but it was really awesome that they added bosses from the old Souls series, and it would just be nice if they added a few more. We don't have the most ever in the game currently, and I don't know, it'd just be nice to see some of the ghosts return. Like, where's our homie Osiris at, huh? I miss that guy. But overall, like I said, I'm still glad with what we got. It'd just be nice. But boom, Nightreign in under 9 minutes, and it feels awesome to do my first review on the channel. First, I did my first tier list on the channel, which if you guys want to see that, I'll link it at the end of this video. And now, we did our first ever review, which feels fantastic. I tried to keep it as quick as possible overall, and overall, I just have to say, Nightreign is a very good game, and it's only $40, so it's a pretty great deal in my opinion. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure to hook me up with a huge like and subscribe, as it helps out a ton, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Have a great day.